seeders. First you must have an idea of what you want to make. Maybe make a drawing on a piece of paper. I like to make a straight grain with some beautiful grains, and at the top of here I want to end it up with all the bird's eye. Now we are then going to look in some of the briar that have been stocked for a while and is ready to work in. Mostly of all the briar that is here come from Corsica. And the reason that I prefer wood from Corsica is that it's very tight, it's very slow growing, and in the end it looks very beautiful. But of course you can use briarwood from all over the Mediterranean area, but I prefer the Corsican briar. And sometimes we can get extremely good briar from Greece as well. Corsica is placed in the middle Terrania, close to Italy and between Italy and France. And there is one island called Corsica that belongs to France, and the other one south of it, Sardinia, that belongs to Italy. And there have been told a lot of stories about that you need briarwood that must be at least 100 years or 200 years or more like that. But if I count from out, this is the outside of the root. And if I start to count every year like this up into the briar, then normally we end up on a piece like this, and it will be 40 years old, this piece. This is what I need to make a beautiful pipe. What there is still inside here in the root is nothing that I can use because it's not beautiful. And that means I only need this last 40 years that it has been growing. What is inside the middle, that is the oldest part, I don't use that. So, but still, you need a piece of briarwood that have 14 good years outside, which is ready to be cut in. That is what is important. Here we have a piece of briarwood with really good grains, where I think it is possible to put my model into. Then I have to decide which end I want to make the piping, and in this shape I think I'll start down here. That should be possible to place in there. Now I'm trying to take away all the briar that we don't need. That means I'm going to the saw and take out this piece that I need to make the pipe. Now we have the raw model. Now I add water to it, and so we have a possibility to have a look and see if the grain is placed as I wanted them. It's a little open piece of briarwood. It means they have been fast growing. Maybe it have had too much rain or too much sun, so it grows a little too fast. It doesn't have the most beautiful grain, but still you can see in top all the bird's eye separated by this line, and then the grain is coming down here, and we can follow it the whole way around. And this side is a little bit loose, and then we are very lucky here in Denmark because all our coins have a hole in the middle, all the small coins, so that's what I need. I put that one up here, make a circle around it. Now I know exactly where I want to drill, so now I just have to go to the machine and drill the air hole and the tobacco hole. Because you know that have the exact line. Then I have to finish the connection between the mouthpiece and the briar, and then a normal 4mm drill goes right through the pipe, and the air hole have then been done and is finished. And we have a tobacco hole. Piece of briar and a tobacco hole. There is many different carvers, beginning with Sixten Iversen, and just after the war he was employed in a tobacco shop for repairing pipes and making new pipes, and together with him there came Paul Rasmussen, and those two started mostly of the pipe production in Denmark. And then through that came Gert Holbæk and Paul Hansen from the Stanwood factory, and a lot of other people started to work with the pipes when it was possible to get the briar just after World War II. And that means that it was difficult to get finished pipes from England, so a production was started up in Denmark, because I think the briar was we were able to get the briar before the finished pipes. So that was some kind of coincidence that it started up here in Denmark, I think. You can even get exactly the same briar. You think you get exactly the same briar. And there will be some kind of difference. I don't know why. And a good old story from Sixten Iversen, which is very old, is that when they take down the briar from the mountain, then they were using donkeys. They carried the briarwood down. And the donkey should be exactly like the dog or like the fox. That means they go and pee the same spot every time. So when they go down from the hillside of the mountain, go down to where all the briar is stocked, they will pee on the same point all the time. So maybe it has something to do with before in the time with the donkeys. I don't know, but that's one story. But normally you can smell that as soon as you start to work on the briar piece. You can smell a strange smell and you throw that piece away immediately.
That's good.
But that can be one of the reasons. But otherwise, I don't know. One of the reasons that the pipe becomes so expensive is, of course, that you have to select very carefully and only use the best pieces of briar that I can buy, and still you need more than one piece of briar to make a pipe, because even if it is selected out, there will still be holes in it. Here we have a piece of vulcanite that we get up. I buy it in Germany, and it has been under a very hard pressure. They roll it together simply. The reason that this part, the tenon, is so black compared to the other one is that this part has been polished with wax and does now fit into the pipes like this. And that means I have been drilling a hole through the vulcanite down to here. I have a normal hole, and then I have been opening here in the end, so we have the airflow right through this piece. Here we have the raw, and it's totally round. Now I have to take all the parts away again that we don't need, so it will look like a mouthpiece. The raw that I made on this sanding wheel, the beginning of it. Where the drilling are made, the mouthpiece are finished, not quite finished, but in the shape that I wanted it to be, and connected on the pipe. And I have with sandpaper prepared the briarwood to be ready to take only black color. So the whole pipe is now black, except from the raw top up here. And a little bit of this color go into the soft part of the briar, and it will give a beautiful contrast when I start to work on it with sandpaper. So you simply just slowly start to take away the black color. Now we are simply making the lip, the end of the mouthpiece. We file it so that it will become thin and nice to have in your mouth. This is now a straight mouthpiece, but I want it slightly bent. Then I light up here. And then you must just be quick so the mouthpiece doesn't burn. So as long as you just move your hand, the mouthpiece will not burn. Now the material is very soft. And then you can decide exactly which shape you want to end it up with. That is what I'm doing right now. Closing this one and then make the shape of the mouthpiece. Then you simply just have to let it cool down. You just feel if you have taken anything with it. There's nothing left that you have to go over with the paper. There is different kind of material that I'm using. The horn we get up like this is normally American, I think it's called American longhorn cattle. We don't want the pieces that are totally black or totally white. We want someone that is flamed so it comes out in different colors when we cut in it. This is raw silver drilled out in round that I use for silver rings to the pipe. Then we have the boxwood. It's like this. This is something I get up from a good friend in northern part of Italy. He lives up around 800 meters over the sea level. And up there it grows very slowly and becomes very beautiful. So when I'm down there, I cut off some pieces and bring them with me back and let them dry here. Again, you have the bamboo, like this, small pieces. And again, you have to select out the good pieces of bamboo, because normally there will be much more longer between these 2 points that there is here. So you have to select out the good pieces of bamboo. And that means every time you maybe have 100 pieces on about 1 meter, then you can find one that is as beautiful as these pieces. Very seldom I use the ivory. This is a piece from Sri Lanka, because you need to have license to buy it, and it's an old working elephant from Sri Lanka, where I bought the whole 2 teeth, and from here I cut out small pieces. Then we can get up from Greenland the walrus. I have one here, the whole piece with both of the teeth in it. But it looks so beautiful, so I still haven't started to use it yet, because I still have something of the other material from the elephant. And in the end, the grain in this one is more beautiful than what it is in the walrus. And this looks so nice. So still I haven't started to work in that one. But if we can't get more of these, then I'll start to work in this one. Until then, it will just hang on my wall and look nice.
Back in Copenhagen, tucked in a courtyard off a cobbled street, is the workshop of S. Bang, home to master pipesmiths Ulf Nonsmeyer and Per Hansen.
When Bang retired in 84,
Yes.
then he was able to retire in good condition, and we had the opportunity to take over because